welcome everyone to the Q&A for Adverse at the 5th Annual Ramsgate International Film and TV Festival. We've got a great lineup for you today. I hope you've all enjoyed the UK premiere of Adverse, and now it's time for a little Q&A session. My name is Adam Grewer. I'm the marketing coordinator at this year's festival, and my associate Ollie is with me. How are you doing, Ollie?
Good.
Brilliant, mate. So we're joined today by the cast and crew of Adverse. I think we could all just go around and we could all introduce ourselves in the role we did. Brian, do you want to start?
Okay. I'm Brian Metcalf, writer, director, producer, and I played Dante in the film.
Brilliant, cheers.
Kelly, you want to go?
Oh, okay. I'm Kelly Argent, and I am a producer, and I play Mia.
And I'm Thomas Nicholas. I'm one of the producers as well, and I play Ethan.
I am Andrew Keegan. Brian, I don't play Caden, do I?
No.
I should have. Why not? I wanted to play Caden. You know that, right? That was
Right.
Mickey Rourke's part. I played what?
Jan.
Jan. That's right,
Yeah.
Jan. That was a smooth way of saying I couldn't remember. Sorry. I thought it was Jules, and I'm like, it's not Jules, it's Jan. There we go. I haven't watched it in a while, obviously.
Right.
Brilliant. Luke?
Yeah, I'm Luke Edwards, and I wanted to play Caden too. I played Kyle.
Brilliant. Luke there joining us from sunny California, isn't it? The best background you've ever seen. Brilliant. So yeah, thanks for joining us all, guys. We'll start with some questions. So Brian, what drove you to make this film?
I wanted to do something that was different than what I'd done in the past. I'd basically done more horror-based projects, and I wanted to try something that was more like a neo-noir crime drama type thriller film and so forth like that. And it was just something to try something different, and it was based off of past experiences, and so just went down this rabbit hole.
Brilliant. And I suppose a question for all you guys, you had a great casting crew. What was the process of getting everyone involved with the project?
Do we all answer that, or?
It's a question for everyone.
Well, since I just spoke last, Tom, do you want to start, and then Kelly, or?
Yeah, I mean, I had worked with Brian on some previous projects as well as with Kelly Argent. And so I was along for the ride of Brian making the shift from horror genre into more dramatic work. This character was, for me, something vastly different. And Brian, I think at first was unsure of my ability to be able to become this character, since it's so vastly different from myself, and especially what I'm known for in my career. So it took a bit of convincing and some work sessions to kind of develop the character before Brian was comfortable enough to say, yes, I think you can play this character. So that was at least the process for myself, getting the opportunity to portray Ethan.
Brilliant.
Well, I'll say that Thomas mentioned Kelly and Brian, but he didn't mention that we've all worked together before. So I was, we have history too, on another film.
You want to go back to like high school history, Andrew? Because we go way back.
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about how far we go back. Do you remember that black Civic you had that you crashed? Remember that one?
It was a CRX, but yes.
CRX.
You had the red Civic. I had the black CRX.
No, I had the Prelude. Okay, we're like I said, we're gonna go off into the weeds here. So we have known each other for a very long time. But we did work on this other film with Brian called Living Among Us, which was a vampire project. So that's the story. So the guys hit me up and said, we got this new project that we're doing. We're going to be filming in the valley. It's going to be 100 degrees. And I said, yeah, I'm totally in. That sounds like fun. But no, it was similar to what Thomas was just talking about, is that it was a darker character than I've played before, and getting to play opposite, obviously, Mickey Rourke was an awesome opportunity. So, had a lot of fun kind of diving in as a dark and, sinister hitman. So good fun.
Brilliant. Luke, what about you, mate?
Well, so Thomas and I have known each other again, like those guys a long time. There was a time where we had sort of same vein and competing baseball movies out. Ever since then, we've known each other, and Thomas is always, he's always been a great guy. And somewhere along in the process, my name came up and he hit me up and I jumped at it. I think, I've always kind of wanted to do a project with Thomas, and, just being able to do stuff with friends, it's always the best.
Definitely. Kelly?
Yeah, well, this project was a lot of fun. I mean, both Brian and Tom were really helpful. They were really kind, and it was just everybody on set was super fun.
Brilliant. It's good to hear that you all got on so well. I think another question sort of leading on from that was, what was the sort of filming experience like? You have a lot of dark environments, a lot of action sequences. Did you enjoy it all? Was it quite hard at times?
For the action sequences, first of all, there's never enough time, and we're always fighting against the time to get as much coverage as we possibly can. And shooting at night was kind of difficult to adjust to, because we were shooting a lot at night. I'd say it was 3/4 of the night and 1/4 in the day. And so we really had to learn to adjust to go to bed at certain times in the daytime and wake up and be filming all throughout the entire nights and stuff like that, for doing the different things.
Brian, can you talk about the sequence at the warehouse and your inspiration for that?
Right. So for the warehouse sequence, when we're talking about when Ethan is going around killing all of the drug dealers or drug addicts and so forth like that, we actually before filming it, we rehearsed it a number of times to make sure we get it right, and we'd have the DP follow behind us, and we'd repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and then halfway through the day is when we finally started shooting it. And each time that we shot it, we had to reset it. We shot it like 13 times, and then it was take number 7 or whatever that ended up being the one that we used for that. And we wanted to do, I know that I wanted to do a one sequence as opposed to cutting that up, because for having him go and kill each of these people, it would get repetitive to seeing him go into one person's place, kill him, cut, go to the next person, cut, go to the next person, cut, all that stuff. So that's why I wanted to do the one long sequence for that action scene.
Cool. And Brian, you starred and directed in it. What was it like balancing those roles? Because that must have been quite hard.
Well, I'm actually not in it that much, so it was easy for the most part. The hardest part of when I was acting and directing was making sure that I can see, because there's playback, you can watch it and so forth like that, and then go again. That was a good part. The hardest part was actually getting smacked by Mickey multiple times, because he really did smack. It was not faked at all. So
I think I got a smack in there too, didn't I?
You got a smack in there too, but you were just doing that for the heck of doing that, Andrew.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, but
this is your one chance to get back at me for forcing you to do those takes over and over again.
Yeah,
I think the worst part I remember was after one take, Brian goes, because Mickey his character had a cane, so the smack in the face was tough. But just when he wasn't even trying to hit Dante, he was hitting the seat. I think one time he nailed Brian on what did he hit, on the hand or something? Yeah,
he hit me on the hand, and several people were like, "Ooh, that looked really close to your hand." And I go, "There's a reason why," because and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we had to get multiple takes from multiple angles, so it was just doing it every time, and Mickey was definitely more than happy to smack. Actually, that was Mickey's first scene of the entire movie. That's the very first scene he did, and so I guess he took his aggression out, because after that we got along really well during the entire set and everything like that. We had a really good time together. So.
Did you watch the trailer of the festival?
I didn't see the trailer for the festival. Is it a linked onto someone, or did you send me the link?
Yeah,
for it?
it's on Facebook and on social media. It's on our website. But interestingly, I chose that scene, the smacking scene.
Well, great. Now everyone can see that I got smacked up.
A lot of people have seen your hand just getting smacked. Don't worry.
That's great. Excellent.
Brilliant. I think Ollie, you had some questions for everyone.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned that the film was drawn from sort of personal things. Did you want to talk about that any further?
Sure. I based the initial idea was based off of a real experience that I had. An ex-girlfriend that got herself mixed in drugs and started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And when she started hanging out with the wrong crowd and mixed with those drugs, she herself became sort of hooked on drugs and started getting into a really bad situation and everything from there. So that's kind of where the whole seed of this came to, and basing sort of Mia off of that type of role is as how she gets hooked on it, and then her brother can do nothing but watch, or her half brother can do nothing but watch and try to do what he can to get her away from that situation.
Cool. Wow. And were there any did you sort of look at any films to kind of draw influence from to for your vision for the film?
When I was doing this, I mean, first of all, I've seen so many movies that obviously they come back and they affect me subconsciously in some form or way, shape or another, and so forth like that. Being a big fan of Scorsese's films and other films and so forth like that. And I know that I've read a lot of people say, compared this to Michael Mann, Michael Mann's filmmaking and so forth like that. But I actually wasn't thinking of Michael Mann in particular and I love his movies, but I wasn't thinking of him in particular when I was doing this movie. I was just, focused on more just the story and how I can make the thing work out and everything like that. And the fact that people actually said, oh, it feels Michael Mann-esque and whatnot. I thought that was actually kind of cool. I was like, oh, cool. But it wasn't intentional. I didn't look at a specific movie and go, oh, I want to copy this movie and I want to do this movie and so forth like that. The closest thing would be like an homage to Old Boy, where he does that one scene with the hammer, because I knew I wanted to do one continuous scene for the warehouse thing. But other than that, yeah.
Excellent. And did your sort of horror background help with the sort of help with the dark, like bringing the darkness of the subject?
Absolutely. But it's strangely enough, this is probably the bloodiest film I've ever done, or in the most violent one, more violent than my horror films by far. The reason we wanted the serious grittiness and the darkness of the city and the vibe of the atmosphere of everything, and being that it's a neo-noir type film, you always have to have the certain things like the femme fatale and all the other things that are put into the chimera ball, all the different rules of the neo-noir world were sort of put into this film to give it that sort of feel as well and stuff. So.
Yeah. Great. And the choice of the tire iron as the weapon for Thomas's character, it was that seems that's a very particular choice. It's quite a personal kind of weapon. Is there a particular reason why you chose?
Well, the tire iron is something that is close by, if you know what I mean, that anyone can have. You just open up the back of your car and you have. I mean, I have a tire iron in the back of my car right now. And
can I share with them what it was first?
You can tell them we were playing around with different ideas, but we wanted, yeah. But basically, yeah, we just we're playing around with different things and stuff like that. So, yeah, go. Did you want to add something more?
Oh yeah, it was just the idea that Brian had different renditions, and it was basically anything that Ethan could get his hands on, that he wouldn't have to like go and buy. It's not, it's not that type of movie. He's not a professional hitman or anything. It's more like a representation of his anger issues and sort of, the idea that he's an everyman that is just losing his mind. I won't swear. We swear
Space-
enough in the film. There's 137 F words in the film.
I noticed. As there's a question for all of you is, what were the biggest challenges on set? Let's all go around in the circle again. Thomas, do you want to start?
Sure. I mean, the biggest challenge for me was really changing every aspect of myself, which, you know, that the development of that happened in pre-production. Just the idea of changing the way that I looked, changing the way that I sounded. Obviously, there's the tonality of the character and the decisions that he makes, his energy, and the way that he even moves. So, you know, slipping into that role while producing was, you know, a challenge for me every day. And it certainly, there came a point when, you know, you go through that process enough times, it gets a little faster each time, depending on what the subject of the scene is. Obviously, the more emotional scenes would be tough regardless of all those changes. But I found a lot of inspiration watching Mickey transition into his role of Caden so seamlessly, to the point where he would be telling some story, you know, in between camera setups, speaking very clearly, and then Brian would call action, and suddenly he sounded different, looked, I mean, every part of him was in character, including his ears, to the point where I think even when I showed some scenes to my wife, she said, "Oh, wow, you know, is Mickey okay? Like, how was it filming with him?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, he's walking with a cane." I'm like, the guy's got a six-pack. He's working out in between setups. He doesn't need a cane. That's just how in character he was, that he made it believable that it didn't seem like he was acting.
Wow, that's incredible to think that he's working out in between sets.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
When we were at the Viper Room, he had like this whole apparatus, and in between camera setups, he would just like, you know, put his headphones on and like go into this like massive workout routine. The guy is cut like a brick, you know what house.
Wow.
Amazing.
Luke, what about you?
Yeah, definitely the character stuff. Particularly for that, you know, a stutter, which is always really hard. It's something I did once before, and it was hard then. I mean, it's hard every time. You know, I was really grateful to have, you know, these guys around to kind of give me, you know, some positive reinforcement. You know, doing that kind of stuff, I always kind of feel like I'm doing a terrible job. You know, these guys assure me that it looks good and sounds good and is working, and so trust that. But that's hard. That's really tough for me.
I have to say, I think Luke did an amazing job. Doing a stutter is a very, very difficult thing, and to make it believable. And every time we were doing scenes, I completely got lost in it, and it turned out really, really well. For me, you know, well, I had a little incident with Mickey too that first day, where he was telling a story, and you know, I'm his right-hand guy, and he's telling the story, and all of a sudden he just like drops down and does this shadow punch, but it's got a little bit of oomph in it, right in the stomach, you know. But I didn't want to. I think he was testing me. He was kind of not exactly in character, but you know, more of the character of an actor. And so I just, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. So that was a little hard, taking a gut punch from Mickey Rourke, who's like a world-renowned boxer. So everything from there was kind of easier, you know. But it was a good experience working with everybody.
Oh, Kelly, what about you?
I think my problem was just I had a really hard time keeping the accent. I had to watch like a lot of movies, and I hung out around a lot of my more Chicano friends, and I don't have that accent in real life. And the other problem I had was just really staying angry at Tom, because he's really funny and he's always like saying jokes in between takes, and he's always making me laugh. So every time I actually had to be like, they were like, "Oh, we're shooting now," and I'd be like, I have to be angry at this guy, and it's like, but I was just laughing. So
I'm sorry I made it challenging for you.
I had a really hard time punching you during that scene. You
No,
had
you
me
didn't. You left a
angry.
bruise on my arm.
No. I tried my best not to punch you. I was like, I'm just gonna be soft. I'm not gonna hit him that hard. But you kept egging me on. So at that point, it was pride. So I had to punch as hard as I could.
Yeah, I pretended like it didn't hurt, but there was a bruise on my arm for about a week.
So sorry.
It's all right. It was us being brother and sister. It was like, a little off camera, rehearsal time, because that's very much what I would do with one of my siblings.
Finally, Brian, what about you, mate?
In terms of the acting part, I think for me, I just wanted to play someone who, well, strangely enough, I tried to give the role to several other people and they didn't want the role specifically. They all felt like that was the shit role. So I finally did it, but I just knew what kind of character that I wanted from it. And I wanted someone who basically, he's kind of a Weasley type guy. And I was mentioning this to the crew, the cast and everybody. And actually Andrew Keegan started calling me Weasel out of that, funny enough. But wanted to do something that was kind of, obviously he's got problems and he thinks he's tough, but he's not really tough and everything like that. So just trying to hone into something when you don't feel like you have control over yourself and everything like that. So.
Brilliant. We'll end on a more positive note. What was everyone's best memory of shooting with each other? We'll go around again in the same order. Thomas?
Man, the best memory. I don't know. I mean, overall, I'm really I'm proud of this film and the work that we all put into it. I think everyone's performance is, everyone's giving their all, and it shows on screen. So, I guess the best moment for me is really just having this entirety of this film and this performance and this cast to say like, yeah, we did that. So I don't know that I can necessarily single out one particular moment, although, Kelly was talking about the accent, and she did help me with my lines in Spanish, which I am definitely not bilingual, and Kelly can attest to my difficulty of being able to spit out those lines and pronounce everything correctly with the correct intonation. So I think I've gotten a lot of compliments on that. So that might be my best moment, thanks to Kelly.
You did practice a lot, so you got a lot better in the end.
Well, I had a good teacher.
Luke, what about you? What was your favorite memory?
Yeah, definitely. Getting to work with Tom and with Andrew. I mean, I didn't know Andrew before. I'm not too scared to admit that I was a big fan, and so that was a lot of fun for me. We had a lot of material together. It was tough, but working with great performers just makes it a breeze. So that was the highlight for me, and I guess everybody's seen it now, but getting murdered by Tom is like, that's the best.
Spoilers.
Every time you talk, Luke, your picture freezes and I feel like you're reporting live from Lake Tahoe.
Exactly.
By the way, Luke, I like the beard, man. It's a cool look.
This is,
this is my your mountain man look. Listen, honestly, I'm just jealous because I can't. I try and that's it, man. I can't get it to look like that. Maybe when I grow up one day.
Yeah, I know how you feel there. I know how you feel. It comes and then it goes straight away.
Exactly.
It doesn't look get very long.
So. I just remember one of the filming days where and correct me if I'm wrong, but we got to film a murder scene. I forget which character it was. You guys can remind me, but I got to shoot the kid on the beach and the sun was rising. It was like this beautiful, again, I'm doing something super awful. Like we were doing this awful thing. We're hit, assassinating this kid. So, but any sunrise when you're at the beach working is always a fantastic memory.
Yeah.
And working with everybody too. I love you guys.
Working with everyone. Yeah. Kelly, what was your favorite moment?
Well, I think overall, like I said, everyone was super kind. Every experience on set was super fun, and it was hard work, but I don't know that there's any specific time during the filming. I will say though, because Tom was kind of poking fun at me the whole time, there was a part during the warehouse scene where we had a hornet's nest. And I think I recorded it where he's screaming, running away from like one of the hornets. And that was absolutely the best for me.
Oh, the guy with the tire iron is afraid of a hornet? Really?
You should have seen the size of these hornets, okay? First of all.
Was it that big or
No,
that
no.
big?
I'll tell you how strong these hornets were. They would not be killed. So Ayla was bound and gagged on the floor, and the hornet's nest, they were coming through the room, right? So one flew and like landed near her. So I took my shoe off. I hit it against the wall, and the thing was like, I'm not dead, and it flew toward me, and that's when I screamed. Because I had tried to kill it, and then it was like, oh, I'm coming for you now. And it scared the crap out of me.
Giant hornets, what a story.
Wow.
Brian, finally, what was your favorite moment?
As there are so many favorite moments, it was great getting to work with all of the cast and everybody, and it's hard to pinpoint one. But there was a scene, there was a time where I got to be with Tom, Kelly, and Andrew, and basically since we'd worked previously on the last film and everything like that, it was just kind of a sort of a reunion of sorts and going, oh shit, we're back again. It's like getting the band back together. And actually Luke was there as well for that scene. So it was great to have, it just felt like a really great fun community. It makes you want to realize like, wow, I want to keep working with these people over and over again. And that's the thing is that you find people that you like working with and you continue to work with them more and more and more on more projects and stuff. So it was, I think that was one scene where we were all together and it was in the kill house. And it was this feeling like, wow, we're all back together doing this and everything like that. And it was just a really fun time. So yeah, I'll choose that.
Well, guys, I can't thank you enough for all coming along today. It's been really nice to meet you all, and it's great that you all, share that same experience as well. You've all loved working with each other as well, which is really great. For anyone tuning in, please check out Adverse. It's been it's been great to meet you all, and I hope you all enjoy the film festival.
Thank you, guys.
I'll just
Thanks
ask
for your
the
patience.
question.
Thank you.
I'll just ask my question. Brian and the guys, do you have another project that you're going to work on together?
There's a bunch of projects that are in the works, and obviously I would love to work with everyone here. Again, if they want to deal with my crazy abusive behavior when I come at them and stuff. But
wait. I thought you said that after I smacked you, you would never hire me again. So you're saying you are? I've got it on camera.
Well, that's the polite thing to say on camera. Behind camera, I'm going to be like, F you, Keegan.
We'll see what kind of role he writes for me. Mm-hmm.
Keegan actually won the award for Living Among Us. He won an Actors Award for his role in that movie. So he's great at playing psychos and crazies and stuff. So I'll write another psycho for you again.
That sounds good. Sounds
Cool.
good. I love you guys so much. I'm gonna run because I got some stuff going on. But thank you all for interviewing us too.
Thank you for joining
Andrew.
us.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Thank you.
Sylvie, we'll edit that last question in. Sorry, I didn't realise you want to go through. I didn't realise you wanted to ask it. But cheers, guys. It was really nice meeting you all. Thanks all so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Nice.